everybody. Welcome to the Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast.
Welcome to the Blue Ribbon Lounge.
That over there is Dave.
Are you ready to podcast? Listen. Listen. Podcast.
I'm Matt Nicky.
I'm Dave.
Thanks so much for
Tuning
listening.
in.
Yes, all of it.
Yes. Don't touch that dial.
No. Yeah, or it might break. Learning a little bit about that. I guess I got to start out with a disclaimer. Apologies for all the weird uploads lately.
Yeah, it's been more like late Monday, early Tuesday.
Yeah, late Tuesday now.
Today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I apologize. I believe it's a technical issue on Podbean's end.
Yes, on the RSS feed.
Yes, but I do have some emails in. Hopefully I can figure out anything that it is that will help.
Yes, we're talking to our IT guys.
Yeah, yeah. Calling it in, writing tickets.
Right.
But we are trying to figure it out. But we appreciate you guys being patient.
Yes.
Cam, thanks for being so patient.
Right. You'll get your podcast eventually.
So how you been, Dave?
Good.
Yeah?
Surprisingly, for how crappy the weather's been.
Oh my gosh, it's been so bad.
I know. It like teased us with warm weather and then just went down to the
Yeah, it was nice for a little while. The weather, it's just been so windy, I feel like that's the worst part is wind.
Yeah, when you come out and it just hits you.
Yeah. I did have a little bitty fire the other day. If I had a bigger fire, it would have lasted longer and I probably would have been warmer. But it was just so cold out there. I've been wanting to have a fire for so bad. I just threw one in there and lit it up and let it die down real quick.
Yeah.
And just had one to say I had one.
The other day, when it was kind of warm, I swept off the back porch all the leaves, made a pile, and I set it on fire. But then it was so windy that I had to put it out because I was afraid it was going to fly and catch the neighbor's house on fire.
Oh, yeesh.
Yeah.
Well, at least you were able to put it out.
Yeah. Because it kind of flared up, and then it was I saw one leaf think about taking off, and I'm like, nah.
It was a little bit on fire.
Yeah. Don't need flaming projectiles going all through the neighborhood.
Yeah. But I have a bunch of neighbors knocking on your door.
Yeah. The fire department.
You get out and about it all, Dave?
Did go frisbee golfing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd you go there?
Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah, on the last nice day we had.
And how'd you do?
I don't keep track.
Okay, good.
But it's just nice to get out there.
Yeah.
Go for a walk in the
some
park.
discs.
Walk in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and throw discs. It's kind of yeah, because otherwise you'd just be walking around looking like a crazy person.
I'm just going to go to a park that doesn't have disc golf and just start tossing a disc around.
Yeah.
Just see if anybody says anything. I'll start throwing it at slides. And
making your own course.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll be the new thing. You'll start a new sport.
Yeah.
It'll just be called dingers.
Dingers. Humdingers.
Yeah, so you throw it at stuff that dings. I bet I can hit that telephone pole. Ding.
Ding.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Man, I can't for the life of me remember what I did this weekend. The wife was out. I've been sick for the past 10 days.
Yes.
If you guys can't tell by my voice, I'm going to try to keep the coughing to a minimum. Got the bronchitis. It's not great. I coughed so much I threw up one day.
That's bad.
Yeah, and I was just like, I guess I'll go to the doctor.
Yeah. They said bronchitis.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just been sleeping in the basement.
You're like
my wife's like, I need 2 floors between us so that I can't hear you coughing all night.
Yeah, you're keeping her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to get that elevation when I'm sick.
Elevation?
Yeah.
You sit up?
Yeah, the slight sit-up position.
Yeah, so it drains properly.
Yes. All the fluids.
That's disgusting.
Hey, this is science, Dave. It's the beautiful human body.
Yes, it's all natural.
Oh, natural.
Right.
Speaking of all natural, make sure you guys check out the BlueRibbonLounge.com website.
Yeah.
We got the podcast up there now.
Yeah, it's very organic.
Yeah, super organic. And you can also email us.
Yeah.
BlueRibbonLoungeMoline@gmail.com.
Yes.
And for all your needs, check out shopabernathys.com.
Right.
Through the website, you can find the Blue Ribbon Lounge section and maybe buy some stickers.
Or you can go to blueribbonlounge.com and click on the merch button, and it'll take you to shopabernathys.com.
Excellent.
Right to the sticker page to get all those fat robots.
Yeah, but they also got great candles and incense and clothes and
T-shirts,
all sorts of stuff.
Because we were there St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your old lady stopped
Can you
in.
get Bloody Marys through the website?
Not through we don't ship those.
Okay.
Those are in-house only.
All right. And only on special occasions?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I was trying to... My old lady bought a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure. Oh, she got stickers and a T-shirt.
Yeah, I think when you guys came in, it was like 15% off Flare Day.
Oh, yeah.
So stickers, pins, patches.
Okay. Because you have to have, 62 pieces of flare?
I thought it was 32.
32. You have to make sure you have enough flare.
Yeah. Required by law.
Yeah. And St. Patrick's Day, it was cold, but there was still a lot of people out there.
There was a lot of people out. I felt like it wasn't as windy as it could have been.
When we were walking back, like where we were standing for the parade, like in front of the shop there, it wasn't too bad. But then we turned a corner to walk back to the car because we parked down by the diner.
Oh, okay.
Like where the farmer's market is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we were walking back, we turned a corner and the wind just hit us. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially down by the river. It gets really windy.
Yeah.
Did you go out and about at all? Did I ask you that? You did, and you went to
Frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf.
Yeah.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
That's all right. Well, it seems like it's been forever.
Yeah, with me being sick.
Yeah, because
the last one we did was not fortune telling. Was it fortune telling?
No, it was codes and riddles.
Codes and puzzies and riddies.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
Yeah, that was fun. It was different.
Have you been binging anything lately?
Roseanne.
No way.
Yes. We actually bought the box set.
Oh, okay.
It's like 9 seasons and 227 episodes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And what are you on now?
We're up there. It's where they have the diner.
Okay.
And like Becky and Mark just moved back in.
Okay.
So if you remember those, where's the new Becky?
Okay, I was going to say, is it first Becky or second Becky?
The second Becky.
First and third Becky? And then second
she comes
Becky?
back later.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I have been going crazy over this album. Have you ever heard of Laverne and Shirley?
Yes.
Do you know the characters?
There's Laverne and Shirley and Squiggy and his buddy
Lenny. So Lenny and Squiggy have a couple of episodes where they play music.
Okay.
Lenny and the Squig Tones. Right. He's Lenny and he's the Squig Tones. But they put out a 40-minute album. It's like a live album.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I've been listening to it like on repeat lately.
Really? Is it so it's like rockabilly, I'm guessing?
It's pretty rockabilly, and it's also like comedy.
Okay.
There's one song that I really like. It's called Night After Night. It's about two nights, one right after another.
Yeah.
and they just do stuff like that throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched an A&E on Laverne and Shirley because I've been listening to this so much. And so Lenny is actually in Spinal Tap and also Airheads.
Really?
Yeah, he's like the guy with the ponytail in Airheads, the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And he's the
lead guy, I think,
in Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
And he was also like the boss in Dream On.
Dream On, I don't know if I know that.
There's an old HBO sitcom.
Oh, okay.
Like an After Hours kind of deal.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But that guy's super funny and apparently really into music stuff and acting. But I watched a little A&E documentary on Laverne and Shirley. Now I really want to watch Laverne and Shirley.
Some of those old ones, they might be interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be pretty slapstick, which is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Like really, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, like the Honeymooners or Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
Or
I was
not
thinking,
Lucy.
yeah, I Love Lucy. That's
I Love
what it
Lucy,
is.
yeah.
So it's kind of like that's what it was comparing it to, as I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And Laurel and Hardy, I think.
Okay.
And how they were saying like Laurel and Hardy is like a smart guy or no, a dumb guy who thinks he's smart and a smart guy who thinks he's dumb. And then Lenny and Squiggy is like Squiggy is the dumb guy who thinks he's smart, and Lenny is the dumb guy who thinks Squiggy's smart.
Okay.
And I just thought it was super funny.
That's interesting.
It's my kind of comedy.
Yeah, it's fun to go back and watch those. Did watch 9 to 5 recently again.
Okay, with the biggest tits in Hollywood.
No, in Nashville.
Oh, and in Nashville. Okay.
Yeah, it has Dolly Parton and Jane Fonda.
Because you went to Dollywood.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, and I saw that costume on display in our little museum. But watching that again and then seeing listening to the song 9 to 5 and then watching the movie, they were bringing up a lot of stuff that today with the Me Too movement and all this, really? Women's rights and stuff, they were pretty far advanced.
Yeah, Dolly Parton was always really into women's rights.
Yeah.
I heard she only did that movie if they would let her write the theme song or whatever.
Something like that. I think it's along those lines. I think like Jane Fonda or the other lady, I can't remember her name, were like, oh, we should get Dolly Parton. And when they approached her, she's like, I'll only do it if I can write the theme song.
Oh, that's funny. Dolly Parton. I watched a documentary before you had gone to Dollywood, which is a little synchronicity.
Yeah.
But they were saying that she would like just go into a bathroom and come out with a song.
Yeah.
Just like pumping them out.
Well, she wrote that I Will Always Love You song.
Yeah.
And Jolene on the same day.
What?
That's what I heard. Yes.
That's crazy.
Like 2 of her biggest hits.
And I mean, I'm by no means a like musical expert or nothing. They could be very rudimentary songs for all I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's got hits for sure.
Right. But the only thing about that movie is that at the end they kind of cop out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like they don't end up like destroying the boss's career. He just gets sent off. Like the head boss is still like, oh, hey, you boss guy had a lot of good ideas, even though it was the girls who did everything.
Oh, okay.
But then he's like, I'm going to need you in Brazil, and sends them. So they still like win because the boss leaves, but he still got credit for all of their work.
White men.
Yeah, it was like they had to kind of reel it back at the end for the producers or something.
They probably had an ending that was like they murder him and hide his body and like take over the company, and they're like, whoa, we can't sell this.
Yeah, guys aren't gonna let their wives see this.
Guys aren't gonna let their wives see. That's good.
This, I think it was in the 70s when that came out.
Yeah.
That's all I've really been up to.
Cool. Me too.
Yeah.
Meat and potatoes?
Sure.
What do you call this one? Do you call it encounter?
Encounter?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Experience?
Yeah, I didn't know which one. What do you call it?
It goes by. It's mostly known by the Kelly Hopkins encounter.
Okay.
But it's actually like took place in the city of Kelly or town.
I think it would be like a township.
Yeah, but Hopkins was where the nearest police department was. Hopkins. Yes, Hopkinsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, is where the nearest police department was.
That was like the main city.
Yeah. And it's also where the origin of Little Green Men came from.
Yeah, the encounters. It seemed like this story, before we get to it, it really hit at a time where media could run rampant. You know, and you would hear a lot of things from a lot of people who would hear those things from other people, and it seemed like a big like daisy chain of media coverage, and that's how it ended up getting, to me, sounded like it got blown out of proportion a little bit.
Yeah, because it seems like they not like print whatever they want, but to sensationalize for sure.
Make it compelling to read.
Yeah, and I wish I would have done a little more research, but when was Sputnik?
Oh, I don't know about that.
And like
was that the 70s?
Was that more? Well, I thought that was earlier.
Here, let me get my phone.
Okay.
1957. Well, that was a lot earlier than I thought it was.
Okay, so this. All right, so I guess this was in 1955, which was just 2 years before Sputnik.
Yeah.
So people were starting to think about space more.
Yeah.
And like boldly going where no man has gone before.
Mm-hmm. Well, it would have been. When did World War II end? Like 49? Or like 54?
I think that's World War II.
Yeah, what'd I say?
World War One.
Oh.
So yeah, right around that time.
World War II. World War II ended in 1945. That was quite 45. A while.
So about like 10 years, and then 2 years after that, then the space. Well, they started the space race, but then as soon as they got Sputnik, they were like, "Oh, we got to ramp this up."
Yeah, because was Sputnik from a different country? Sputnik, Russian. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also when those creature features were getting really big, like the black and white, It Came from Outer Space, and the Blob and stuff like that.
Well, and it was when was that War of the Worlds radio show?
Probably right around that time too.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was before or after 1955.
But that was like Orson Welles, where I guess a lot of people, there was something going on, and then they tuned in later. So they didn't hear the beginning of the broadcast where they said it was
1977. No, air date was 1938. Oh, I guess that has absolutely nothing to do with this almost.
Right, that was
You're really reaching,
earlier.
yeah.
Yeah. But
that's part of what this podcast's about. You're bringing up a bunch of stuff that I didn't even consider when I just looked it up. I looked up the encounter. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But, who knows what was going on at the same time. I did hear that 1955, I think, was at the peak of people reporting UFOs.
Yeah. I want to say they call it like a flap or something, where, a lot of UFOs are being reported. Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is, we might mess up some dates and get some stuff out of whack, just like with the World War II end date and the War of the Worlds thing. But we want you guys to, out there in listener land, to just be like thinking about this stuff next time you hear something weird that happened in the 1950s. Oh, well, that was right around the time all the newspapers were printing about this Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, and maybe that kind of had something to do with it. So if you hear anything on here that you want to learn more about, make sure you comment it, send it to us, or look it up yourselves. Definitely a good jumping pad is what I like about this podcast.
Yeah, and talk about it with your friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Be like, hey, do you know this?
That's the hardest part, because like we're at work all day together,
right?
And all I want to do is talk to you about it. But then we get to the podcast and we're like,
yeah. Start taking my notebook to work with me.
Yeah.
August 21st, 1955. And it took place in Kentucky, in Kelly, Kentucky.
Yeah, the west end of Kentucky, almost Tennessee, right? I think that's what's right there.
Tennessee is south of Kentucky.
Oh, whoops.
West Virginia is west.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like in the mountains, kind of. And the Sutton family was having I don't know if you call it a party, but they had the extended family over, and along with the guy Billy Ray.
Yeah, so
Billy Ray Taylor.
Yeah, so a couple of the family members, Elmer Sutton, also Lucky.
Yeah.
And his wife, is that Vera Sutton? who was 29. He was 25. She was 29, I think.
Yeah.
They worked for the circus. So I don't know if maybe the circus was just passing by and they were stopping in for, on their way, or maybe it's a period of time where, like, school has summer break. Maybe the circus stops when it gets close to winter.
Yeah, maybe, because I thought it said that Lucky and Billy Ray worked together at the circus/carnival.
Yeah, I guess I thought all 4 of them worked there.
Oh, they might have, but I think they were saying that Billy Ray is actually from Pennsylvania and he was visiting because they worked together in the circus.
Oh, okay.
So, like, that's how he knew him.
Yeah. Is Kentucky considered the South, right?
Yeah.
And so it's August, so it's hot.
Yes.
A hot day. And Kelly is a pretty poor town.
Yeah, and it seems like they were, like, rural, like super rural.
Rural. Weird word to say.
Yeah. I just want me to say rural. So they didn't have, like, electricity or running water or, like, plumbing.
I did think they had electricity, but they didn't have a TV or radio, I think I heard.
Okay, so they might have lights.
Yeah.
But no running water because it was like about 7 o'clock. Billy Ray went out to get water from the well.
Yeah.
And that's where he saw a bright light that flashed across the sky. And he said the tail had, like, all the colors of the rainbow. And then it just, like, paused and then lowered into the woods.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't know what it was.
Right.
And so initially, I think it's something else. I'm pretty skeptic on stuff like this.
Yeah.
I'm a believer, but a skeptic. I don't know about you. How about you? Do you like to try to believe this kind of stuff?
I like to believe it, but I like to look at all the angles. I'm not just going to be like, oh, really? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I always play devil's advocate, almost to a fault. Some
Yeah.
people are like,
Oh.
Can you just agree with me? Like,
Yeah,
I agree with you, but...
My wife hates me as a devil's advocate. But to me, the way he talks about it, where he sees the exhaust, every color of the rainbow, and then it lowers, he says, behind the house into the creek. And to me, it sounds like maybe it was pretty close. If you can tell all of that.
Yeah. Well, there was also, like, later on when people investigated it, other people around the area also saw, like, something in the sky, and I didn't hear their firsthand reports, but the investigator was like, oh, it was probably a meteor that he saw.
Yeah. Which I did hear that there's a meteor shower that Perseid's meteor shower is pretty prevalent in late October. And it got brought up to me with this comet called Swift Turtle.
Okay.
But the Swift Turtle comet only comes around every 133 years, and it was not the time that it should have come around, I don't think, from what I read on the Swift Turtle comet. But the Perseid's meteor shower is something that happens every year in that area, predominantly.
And I've also heard that maybe since he was from, like, Pennsylvania, maybe he was more of a city boy. Mm-hmm. And hadn't seen, like, meteor showers or a meteor or a comet or whatever.
Yeah. I've seen Halley's Comet once, and I don't know if I've ever seen, like, I may have seen a shooting star, but I feel like they're so fast, unless you're seeing a shower,
right?
They're hard to, like, really see.
Yeah, I've seen meteor showers, but not just, like, a random, just, like, shooting star or something.
Yeah.
The movies always make it seem like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But so he went inside and told everybody, and they just laughed him off because I guess he was known as, like, a prankster guy, and they're like, ha, whatever there, Billy Ray. But then the dogs started going crazy enough to the point where it got annoying. So then him and Lucky went out to investigate.
Yeah.
And that's when they seen, like, what they initially called, like, a goblin Or,
Did they call it that?
Well, at first, like, it's also known as the Kelly Goblins encounter or something.
Okay.
But he said it had an oversized head, almost perfectly round, arms that extended almost to the ground. The hands had talons and eyes glowed with yellowish light. And it was only about 3 feet tall.
Yeah. And I think they said it had it didn't have smooth or wrinkly skin, and it was silver, and it kind of glowed.
Yeah. Later on, the matriarch, Glennie Langford,
Yeah.
the grandma of the place, she said it was it looked like a 5-gallon gas can with a head on it.
Which I think sounds different.
Yeah, because she said with a head on top and small legs, it was shimmering bright metal like on my refrigerator.
To me, those two things don't sound the same.
Right.
And did they say the eyes glowed or the whole body glowed?
They said it shimmered, that the
The
later
whole body shimmered?
Yeah, that the body just shimmered.
Okay. Kind of maybe like a fish scale.
Kinda. They didn't say it glowed. They did say the eyes were glowing.
Okay.
When you see something strange like that, what's your first inkling?
Well, I mean, I kind of looked into it, but
I meant if you
oh,
were going to investigate some dogs barking and you saw some kind of...
I'd run.
Yeah.
I'd get out of there.
Yeah. You know what they do in Kentucky?
What's that?
They blast it with shotguns.
Shotguns.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they had 3 to 5 guns in the house.
Yeah. I guess Lucky had his Lucky shotgun and Billy Ray had a .22 rifle.
Yeah.
And they took pot shots at it, and they said it did a flip, scrambled to its feet, and ran back into the woods.
Yeah, I also heard it sounded like metal when it got shot.
Yeah, like shooting a trash can or something.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, and then they ran inside, and I guess they saw a similar creature looking in the side window, and so they took a shot at it through the screen, of the window.
Yeah, from the inside of the house.
Yeah.
I also heard that at one point, Billy Ray, I think, went back outside, and one of the creatures was on the porch awning.
Yeah.
And reaching for his head.
Yeah, because I guess Glennie Langford, the old lady, when she said she saw it approaching the door, and that's when she said it looked like a 5-gallon gas can with a head on it. She screamed and fell backwards, and they pulled her into the bedroom. And then either Lucky or Billy took a shot at it. I guess it was Billy, because then he ran outside to see if there was a body or if it was the exact same thing that they saw earlier.
Yeah.
And that's when they said they saw a claw reach down and touch his head.
Yeah.
And they screamed to pull him back in, and Lucky started shooting at it. Now, I don't know if he ran outside and turned around and started shooting, or if he was shooting through
the ceiling.
Yeah.
It sounded like they were pretty spooked, and I think they said there was a lot of shotgun shells and damage inside and out of the house. So he could have went inside and started shooting through the roof.
I've heard it two ways, where from 7 for 3 hours they were whack-a-mole
in a battle.
Yeah,
whack-a-moling.
Yeah, one would pop up in the window and they'd shoot at it, or at the door shoot at it, and so I've heard where they've pretty much destroyed their house, shooting over 100 rounds. And then I've heard it's just that one time through the screen.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the embellishment of these newspapers and magazine articles and stuff, because when I had heard information about the police testimonial or police investigation, they said they would only see one at a time, I believe.
Yeah.
Or maybe up to 3 at a time or something like that, but not a lot. They said not a lot. But then there were some articles that there was 13 of them.
Yeah,
or quite a few. And they were it sounded like they were all over the house trying to climb in.
Oh, you mean the aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was either like one or two that they actually saw, but then they also said they heard scratching, and then they also thought that they were like blasting them through multiple areas.
Yeah. And I guess while we're on that subject, like you were saying earlier, this is where the little green men got to be popularized, which from the description, the shimmering scale or the shimmering skin and stuff like that, they don't mention green at all.
Yeah, I think in the police report they actually called them little silver men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the green came later because like the Kentucky New Era TV or newspaper report on it first, and then it got spread to like the New York Times and like the LA Times and all over. And then I think as it got like daisy chained, it gets more embellished as it goes.
So they finally blast these things enough to be able to escape.
Yeah. I heard that they blasted them and then they waited, and then when everything quieted down enough, like maybe they waited 10, 15 minutes, and then when nothing was happening, they hightailed it to their cars and then like sped to the police station in Hopkinsville, and then just pretty much bum rushed the police station being like, help, we're under attack and we've been fighting
Gremlins
in the woods. Yeah.
Now, do you know how far away Kelly is from Hopkinsville? That's one thing I did not look up.
I want to say it's fairly close.
Okay. I think they're both on the same like train line.
Yeah.
I think it was like the Chicago to Jacksonville line.
Okay. So maybe 15-minute drive, something like that.
Yeah, I can see that. And all 5 adults and 7 children ended up going to the police station.
Yeah. Well, it said like 11 people. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's 12.
Yeah. So maybe there was only 6 children. 8 adults, 3 children.
Oh, I do have 11 names written down.
But then once they got there, at first they were going to write them off that they were drunk or like they were partying.
Yeah.
But after them, being so frantic and then explaining that they shot a bunch of times, they're like, well, they were shooting at something. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should go check it out.
Yeah. I also heard that a couple of the police officers, I don't know if necessarily one of them saw something that night, but I think one of them had an experience of a UFO or something unexplainable in the past. So he was a little bit more willing to, understand their confusion and worry.
Yeah, because he's like, if I've seen something, then maybe they've seen something as well.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it was the fact that even if it wasn't aliens, if it was just somebody else playing a trick or somebody trying to rob them or something, it was a situation either way, especially involving guns.
Yeah, I guess they sent, from what I have here, 4 police officers, 5 state troopers, 3 deputy sheriffs, and 4 military policemen from the nearby Air Force Base.
Yeah.
All went out to investigate this situation.
Yeah. And at first, it seemed like maybe they thought that maybe they were drinking or, seeing things. It was August in the South. It was probably hot.
Yeah.
And, mixing some booze or moonshine with that
right,
might get a little crazy. And in my head, there's a lot of kids there. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head if they had said they seen anything, but if you got parents running around and shooting guns and like
right,
pulling them into other rooms and stuff like that, that'd be a pretty traumatic experience.
Yeah, little mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I see one over here. Oh my god. Like,
yeah.
Just shooting at it, not even really seeing it. And
but I think they kind of debunked that. They said that there were a few beer cans there, but the mom, Glenda, is that what you call her? Glennie Langford.
Yep.
She was a pretty Christian woman, and she didn't allow alcohol in her house.
Yeah, alcohol or swearing is what they said. And from the first initial reports, from what I heard, is that they found shell casings and damage to the house, but they didn't find any like scratches on the roof or any like
really?
blood or anything, and they didn't find any evidence of drinking.
Yeah. Well, and maybe the beer cans or something were in the car or something. You know, if Lucky and Billy Ray and them worked in the circus, you know, I can't imagine they don't imbibe. You know, but
Right.
maybe that's a little presumptuous of me.
Yeah, of carnies.
Yeah.
The report that was given by Glennie, but it's kind of silly because it's all blacked out. But yet because it's like my name is and it's blacked out. Age 50. I live at blank Hopkinsville, Route 6, Kentucky. On Sunday night, August 21st, 55, about 10:30 p.m., I was walking through the hallway, which is located in the middle of my house, and I looked out the back door, south, and saw a bright silver object about 2.5 feet tall, peering round, like he was looking around.
Okay. Peering. That's a
Peering. Yeah. I became excited and did not look at it long enough to see if it had any eyes or move. I was about 15 or 20 feet from it. I fell backwards and then was carried into the bedroom. My two sons, blank, age 25, and his wife, blank, age 29, and blank, age 21, and his wife, blank, age 27, and their friends, age 21, and his wife, blank, 18, were all in the house and saw this little man that looked like a monkey. About 3:30 a.m., so like the cops came, and then after they left, she's saying that they came back, and I was in my bedroom looking out the south window and saw a small silver shining object about 2.5 feet tall that had its hand on the screen looking in. Called for my sons and they shot at it and I left. It was about 60 feet from it this time. I didn't see it anymore. And then it says I've read the above statement and this is the best of my knowledge kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, I guess after the cops came and investigated, there was another round where at least one came back and they shot some more at it.
Yeah, and a 50-year-old woman, I feel like, has no reason to lie.
Right.
You know, they do sound like maybe they were in a poorer situation.
Yeah.
But you got kids and you're 50. She was widowed. And so I just don't see her having a reason to lie.
Right. And she was.
So obviously I think she saw something.
Yeah.
And then you got, you know, some 20-something-year-olds. Maybe they're playing a hoax. Maybe they have some sort of plan to make money off it or something.
Yeah.
But then you have, you know, a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old. I don't think they would be able to keep a secret like that.
Yeah, like, hey, we're doing this for money.
Yeah. Although I didn't hear any firsthand accounts of the kids seeing anything.
Yeah, they didn't really talk to the kids, it seemed like, because there's if you do a quick Google search, you'll see the picture of like how they described the aliens or goblins or whatever. Yeah. And if you read the notes, that was conducted by some, I should have wrote his name down.
He was like a radio DJ.
It was a radio DJ?
I believe so.
Because there was
who also drew that picture?
Was he the one that drew the picture?
I believe so. The radio DJ drew the picture for Sir, and also got one of the first interviews amongst the one of the first interviews of the family.
Okay, because I thought it was like the newspaper lady. At least I think it was a lady, was hanging around the police department when they came in, and so she actually got interviews that night, and it ran the next day in the Kentucky Air.
Oh, maybe.
New Air.
But yeah, I heard there was a radio DJ who also somehow heard the buzz kind of before everybody from the police, and he was the one that drew that picture.
Okay.
And he was drawing it from Glennie, and then Lucky came in, or maybe it was Billy Ray, I think, came in, and he was like, "That's it. That's what it was."
Right. Because the pictures I saw was kind of like a compilation of them.
Oh, okay.
And it was for like their Project Blue Book.
Oh, okay.
So when the government came to check it out, And really, they didn't do that in depth of research. They just kind of checked it out, see what they said, and then were like, backwoods moonshine, you know. But they also said that they interviewed them separately, and all their accounts matched up. Mm-hmm. So they felt like they didn't really have time to like collaborate and like get their stories straight.
Yeah.
So that was like one part of it. So they feel like they did see something, but what they saw is still up in the air.
Yeah. I heard a bunch of stuff where the Air Force Base got called about people coming up, and they said that they didn't send anybody.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know if that was maybe somebody was misinformed.
Or okay.
Maybe they came up secretly or something.
Well,
you know what I mean? They didn't want to say that they were there.
Okay, now that you say that, I think it was the Air Force, their inquiry had a little, like, because it wasn't even that much. It was like the couple pictures that people drew, and then like side notes on the side that said, this is what Billy's description, this is Lucky's description, this is a picture that like a DJ drew for fun, because there's like a picture of like a little guy and he's got like a shirt on with a lightning bolt. And he was like, oh, that's a drawing that someone drew to make fun of him. And so then I think maybe the Air Force did a little initial, and then the government called the Air Force and they're like, yeah, it's nothing.
Oh,
so maybe that's where I got my wires crossed.
Okay.
But word spread pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like the next day, it was like a big circus, like a media scene.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, they didn't want anything to do with anybody, and they put up no trespassing signs, but that didn't stop people from coming onto their property and trampling through their gardens and stuff. And so then they decided that they would charge admission.
Yeah. And people before that, I think, were like taking things.
Yeah.
Like shotgun shells, maybe even like stuff off the house or something.
Yeah, like, oh, there's where piece of the side where bullet hole went it.
Yeah. And maybe it was something that would need replaced either way, but that just seems a little disrespectful.
Yeah. So they started charging 50 cents for just to come and look around.
Yeah.
$1 per question, and then $10 for photograph.
Oh, wow. That's good money.
Yeah. But I guess because it was like the first day they're like, this is too much. So then like the next day they put up no trespassing signs. And then the next day after that is when they're like, well, let's start charging people.
Yeah. Which is funny. People would rather, like, they'll see a no trespassing sign and be like, nah, let's go. But when they see, like, must pay $1, they'll probably be like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
people
guess
are crazy.
When they started charging, people in the town were like, whoa, you guys are just making this up to make a profit. And they're like, well, no, they're, like, destroying our livelihood, kind of.
Yeah.
Just trampling all our shit. And I read somewhere that, like, 10 days later, they ended up moving because they just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, they moved to they moved to Hopkinsville, and I think one of their cousins moved into the house.
Okay.
I don't know if they flip-flopped or what.
Yeah, but I heard it was like 10 days later, but I tried to look it up to confirm it, but I couldn't find that again.
Oh, okay.
So it almost seems kind of, if I wanted to go to explanations, I could see how people that worked in a circus would maybe get together and be like, how can we make a quick buck?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see somebody in the circus doing that.
Yeah.
That's essentially what a circus is, right?
Yeah. Swindling.
Yeah.
What's the Barnum Bailey thing? There's a sucker born every minute.
Oh, okay.
Or you can fool some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time.
Okay. Those are good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But he was the one that, like, Barnum or Bailey found, like, a really old lady and made her say she was George Washington's nursemaid.
Oh, okay.
And I charged 5 cents for people to come look at her. So I could kind of see how maybe it was like a hoax where they're like, well, let's just shoot out this screen. We'll make up this story and, go into town and sell it.
Yeah, because there wasn't any blood.
Yeah.
No dead things.
Right.
No tracks even?
I don't hear any tracks. I heard there was one like glowy green spot.
I do remember hearing about that too. I can't remember what it was.
But it might have been just like phosphorescent, not like mold, but like moss or something.
Weird.
Yeah, and the neighbors said they did hear commotion and gunfire, but they also saw lights in the woods, and they thought the Suttons were maybe looking for a pig they got lost.
Oh, I don't know if I believe people would think that far ahead. In my head, I wouldn't connect an alien goblin encounter with people wanting to trample all over my house.
Like that someone would be interested. You could make money off it somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd be able to make money off of it. Obviously, they did.
Yeah,
which
but
is different.
It doesn't say how many people actually paid that or got pictures.
That's true too. And also, like, you make $20, which may have been a lot in the 50s. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then also, like, for every one person that believes, there's going to be 2 to 3 to 5 that think you're a hoax.
Yeah.
I don't know if
because I guess a lot of the town was kind of behind them because they're like they knew Glennie and how she was kind of really strict Christian and like
the
total with the swearing and stuff. But once they started like going for money, they were like, called them like fabricators and just doing it for a buck.
Yeah, the spaceship. I think that's maybe a meteor.
A meteor.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it was a ship that had all the colors of the rainbow. I mean, if you look up some meteor photos, you can see like reds and greens and yellows off of it. Well, you don't see like a full rainbow, but I think in the heat of the moment, getting startled.
Yeah.
And that's the best way you can describe it. Like, to me, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Right. But there was a guy that came forward later, Arthur Haas.
Haas is what they call him?
Yeah, Kanzler. He was one of the sheriffs that came to investigate. He said there was a cat that just kept jumping on the screen door, and when the kid would try to pull it off, the cat would scream, and he's like, that's your alien right there. So,
well, did they say they made any noises?
They didn't say anything about noises.
I don't think they said anything about noises.
Yeah, so, but this was like one of his explanations later when people that came to talk about it. He said it was probably one of the kids playing a prank and like kept throwing the cat at the screen.
Oh.
And like scaring him up. And like
scaring him up.
Yeah.
But I think if you have guns and you live in a rural area and you're kind of poor, I'm betting you're killing things to survive.
Yeah.
Hunting. And if they fired that many shots, even 30 shots, I think you're going to kill something.
Right.
If I had 30 shots at a squirrel in like a pretty big pen, and I have shot guns before, so I'm comfortable with it, but I'm by no means a good shot. I mean, I could kill a squirrel in 30 shots,
Yeah. Probably.
So, challenge accepted.
Yeah. And that seems a little odd because if they found casings, if I'm a kid and I want to like spook the adults because they're having a little party and they're like, I'm bored, let me sneak up and be like, boo, and they shot a gun, I'd probably be like, I'm not gonna keep doing that.
Yeah. And yeah, maybe you don't even say sorry because you're so scared of them finding out it was you. But you definitely wouldn't do it more than once.
Right. I mean, unless that's some like 50s Kentucky kid fun.
Yeah.
Like, stay low, they're gonna shoot. Throw the cat.
The cat.
But then there's also the owl theory.
The owl theory seems the most realistic to me.
Yeah.
Now, well, I guess let's go with why it could be the owl theory. I think it's a great horned owl.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it's got great big eyes. It's got the two horns, like they say it had little
big
ears,
pointy ears. Yeah.
Arms that go down to the ground.
Yeah.
With the feathers spread, that could definitely be, like fingers and talon looking.
Yeah, because one of the drawings I saw, it had an arrow pointing towards the feet, but at the arrow it said did not describe feet. So maybe the talons that went all the way down for the hands were actually just talons.
Okay. And to me, I mean, I've seen owls, and it's like, I don't see them all the time, but I've seen owls really close on the ground once or twice in my life. And I remember it like it was yesterday because it was a crazy thing to see.
Right.
Just driving through a back road and there's a huge owl on the ground. And it probably wasn't 3 feet. It was probably only like 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
But that's a big bird.
It is huge.
And it's like kind of surreal to be so close to a big bird.
Yeah, and they fly silently too. Mm-hmm. And it kind of leads a little credibility to that because it said when they shot that first one, it was coming towards them with its hands in the air.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of like if when Lucky went to the well and disturbed an owl's nest, or maybe the dogs
got into
something and were barking and the owls were fucking with the dogs, and they go out there and the owl's like flapping, but it looks like it's hovering because you can't hear it, and then its wings are raised.
Yeah. And another thing, one thing I heard is that the great horned owl is the only bird that has killed a person.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking episode in the future, killer animals.
Killer animals.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyways.
All right.
I think the owl is a real possibility.
Yeah, because from all the accounts, like the first-hand accounts, not the accounts of people that were witnesses to them telling their story, they only really talk about the one at the side window and then the one at the claw coming down towards the guy's head, which if you're standing in a door and an owl's swooping at your head, people behind you are just going to see the talon and be like, "Oh, Lucky, get back!"
Yeah, something like that.
But it also, the guy who wrote this book and brought that theory up, he was like, "Oh, yeah, get a 1955 backwoods Kentucky moonshine drunk and look at an owl." That's probably really weird. When I heard that, it kind of made a little sense because, like, if the Glennie was drinking too, and she's just walking down the hallway and sees a fucking gas can after these owls, and she falls backwards, like, "Oh, did you see that?" Like, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it looked like a monkey." Well, like, "Did you see that monkey, Grandma?" Like, yeah.
Or there's like just a bunch of gas cans sitting outside and they're just shooting at them. That would explain the metal pinging noise.
Right. Like, "Oh, I see one over there." Bang. Like, so it could be a little bit, mass hysteria or like mass hallucination.
And another thing I had heard was maybe there was something in the water or food that they ate.
Okay.
There could have been some sort of like slight poisoning along with it. I think I wrote down it was like it was like 93 degrees.
Yeah.
The high for that day. So I mean, you're looking at some sort of mix between being poisoned and maybe
Yeah.
even hallucinating from the heat.
Like some ergot kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just maybe not purposefully being intoxicated, but like being not sober.
Right. I could see that. Or just, yeah, being dehydrated.
Yeah. Maybe they had some bad tomatoes that they made a soup out of instead of putting them on burgers or something.
Yeah.
You know, like we got to use everything we can because we don't have a lot of money, but maybe it was some sort of being sick.
Yeah. Or if their wheat looks a little off, but they still grind it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But, I guess nowadays you could go to Kelly in August and they have a Little Green Man days.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's one of those things that got like kind of over exaggerated, like the Little Green Men part.
Yeah, because I guess it was like they called them Little Silver Men. And one article that I read, I guess there was a lady that saw a flying saucer and it had a green man, like a regular man.
It's just like driving it, like
Yeah,
Jetson style.
Yeah. Like somehow the stories got smashed together.
Oh,
and
okay.
so they became Little Green Men
Okay.
that were like terrorizing these guys.
And I'm sure those like rag magazines really ran with this. You know, making up
like the dime store, like magazines,
creature feature type things.
Yeah. And I guess Steven Spielberg was really inspired by this.
Mm-hmm.
Like for when he did like E.T. and Gremlins and even the movie like Critters.
Yeah. Was Close Encounters from the Third Kind Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that had kind of influences from this.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like parts that are influenced by it.
Yeah. Also, I had heard that Japanese culture is really into aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they took this story and they made a Pokemon out of it.
Yeah, that was always popping up because I'd start like typing in Kelly Hopkinsville and then it would be like Pokemon. And I'm like, what? No. Yeah, but that Pokemon is like a little purple guy with diamond eyes.
Yeah. I think it was called like a Hobkin or something like that.
Something. I didn't.
Just something just like a little bit different or something. Or maybe it was like Sapphirex or something. Sapphires.
Something because he had sapphire in his eyes.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I thought it was a good story, though. It was a much... Oh, first of all, when you told me Kelly Hopkins' experience, I didn't know... I don't know if it was experience or encounter. Encounter. But I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I guess encounter should have kind of given it away that it was probably some sort of...
like a cryptid.
Yeah, type thing. But I didn't know what to expect. And for it to come around to be like kind of a big story that influenced a lot of things.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
I would say it's like how before we were talking about like when you say supernatural or whatever and you're like Bermuda Triangle, Bigfoot, like aliens, Loch Ness Monster. When it comes to stories about them, I think this one is kind of like a second tier kind of story, not one that because I can't think of their names, but the Bernie and someone Smith.
Nothing on me.
Yeah, sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But there's other like alien encounters that are ahead of this one when it comes to
that pancake one we did was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was a good one. But that was also like a B level story.
Yeah.
But
the only one I really know, as far as like a top level cryptid, is that video footage of Sasquatch.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that video is called, but
yeah, I could go back. It's like the Patterson.
Yeah, Patterson footage. Yeah, that's the only one that I really know of.
Yeah,
all the rest I know are from like movies and stuff.
Yeah, I can't think of their names, but it's the Hills. It's Benny and someone Hill
Okay.
is one of the first reported cases of like UFO like abduction or seeing them.
And then isn't there one where like a girl gets abducted and she comes back like paralyzed or something? They made a movie on it,
Really?
I believe.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I always thought it was Close Encounters from the Third Kind, but that's not it.
No, I know what you're talking about. I can't think about it. But it's got
They made like a dramatic retelling of it.
yeah, it's got the lady from Fifth Element as the doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, because they did like a spoilers.
Yeah.
But they did like a quote unquote actual video alongside of like their reenactment where they would like tell the story with actors and then sometimes intersplice the quote unquote real stuff into it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about too.
Yeah. The way they reacted to the aliens kind of reminds me of those prospectors when they saw Bigfoot and the one guy just blam blam and then the other Bigfoot came and attacked the cabin.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it in the Sasquatch
Yeah, yeah.
episode. Yeah.
It's unexplainable, man.
I know.
We weren't there. We can't say.
I know, but it is very American to be like, what's that? Oh, let's shoot it. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of Sasquatches came here to like save our humanity from cancer, but then we shot at them, so they gone.
Yeah. They sent down the little green guy. You guys go and try.
Yeah, you guys go.
They didn't do any better.
I thought that was a good one. If you guys have any other alien encounters or anything like that, let us know. Or if you can remember what that movie was called, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, or if you've had your own alien encounters and want to tell us about it.
Yeah, or if you've drank your Ovaltine for the day, like good podcast listeners.
Should do, yes.
Well, you got anything else, Dave?
On that subject, I think we covered it pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else written down.
Yeah, I mean, there's more. I want to say that there's old school unsolved mysteries about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Old Unsolved Mysteries is all I think on Hulu, right?
it might
You don't
be.
know. You
Yeah, some of the old ones are on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was trying to find this one, but when they have like 3 little segments, it's hard to find one, just one.
Was Unsolved Mysteries with the same guy as America's Most Wanted?
Robert Stack?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Unsolved Mysteries was the guy whose name is Joe Walsh.
Joe Walsh.
Yeah,
okay.
same as the
Guitar player?
Yep. That's how I remember that.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right.
Killer Animals coming soon. I'm putting it out there.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, we roll a dice when we pick our episodes. Maybe we'll have a fan pick sometime,
Yeah.
and we'll just give them a couple of options.
Or have someone just email us a number.
Yeah, email or put a number in the comments below, and if we get to it in time, that'll be the next one we do. And we'll say your name on the podcast.
Yes. We'll be like, this episode brought to you by insert name here.
Well, you folks, be good to yourselves. Have a good rest of your evening. Be good to yourselves.
Be good to yourselves. Have a good evening. Yes. And remember, Han shot first.
All right, have a good one.
See ya.
Podcast.
Podcast.